Alright, so today I'm going to be making an Electro Etcher to etch a logo or a name in metal, basically. This design was, the pieces to this were kind of listed by a known knife maker named Kyle Royer. So if I get electrocuted by it, I'm gonna blame it on him. So the first thing you're gonna need, this is a variable voltage regulator. You can get it on Amazon for like $60. So what this does is you're able to, from your plug, control what voltage is coming through this plug. From that plug, we have this 2-prong cord just from the hardware store. And that goes to a Bridge Rectifier, which converts it from AC to DC. And from the Bridge Rectifier, we have these wires, which connect to our alligator clips. And then for my etching portion, I'm just going to use a bolt, so I'll grind down the alligator clip to clip onto the back. Maybe expose a little bit more metal on the bolt head. Around the bolt head, I'm going to have some of this felt so it can soak up the electrolyte solution. And then basically you just etch over your stencil. I have my stencil, but not on me. I'll bring it down in a couple minutes. But yeah, let's get started. Alright, let's start by opening up the wire we're going to use. So this is 16 gauge medium duty, and it is a 2-prong plug. Pretty easy to find at just your local hardware store. Alright, so here's our negative, here's our positive. We're going to go ahead and cap each of them off with this little connector here, which is this, if it'll focus. So what you do, make sure your wire's all wound up together, you don't have any strays. And you insert it into the tube end on the connector. And then you're going to crimp it with either a special crimping tool, or you can use maybe some needle nose pliers and just crush that part so it grabs the wire securely. So before I crimp it, I'll do the same thing to the other side. Make sure it's seated nicely, and then we'll crimp that up. Let's see, It needs a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's seated really well. All right, next one. All right, so that part's done. All right, so the bridge rectifier is kind of tricky to figure out how to wire. I'll link the resource I used for it, so that way you can find it easily, but maybe you can get it from this video too, who knows. All right, so this is our AC line, meaning it's coming from the variable voltage regulator to this piece. So it's the first segment really. And what we're going to do, the AC positive is going to go here, and our AC negative is going to go here. So the labeling on the front there, don't follow that. All right, so positive here, negative there. So black, in this case, is our negative. Seat that on there. White, in this case, is our other one. And the white in this case is our positive, so just in that opposite corner, let's get it seated. It's a little more stubborn. All right, I'm happy with that. All right, so now we'll go ahead and get the next set of wires stripped. And again, kind of a little twist to lock it. Same thing. Pop it into here. Oh yeah, that's nice and tight. Okay, cool. Now we'll do the same thing to our negative wire. Which is this one. All right, that's nice and solid as well. Okay, let's get them plugged into the rectifier. So again, to keep it all on the same frame of reference, we're looking at it from that angle. And our DC negative, so the black wire is going to go in this back corner. So the one I'm holding right now. We will go ahead and slip that on. And then our positive, or the red one, goes where this positive is. So that's one thing that's actually helpful with the label. All right, everything's on there and secured. Kind of keep these two together since they're going on to the next segment. Maybe I'll get some electrical tape and kind of keep them grouped. All right, for this next part, we're going to be attaching the wires running from the bridge rectifier to our alligator clips. The colors are all the same, so that's easy to follow. And the instructions on the back are pretty simple. So we're going to strip off a 1/2 inch on this, shove them into the appropriate tube, and crimp it. I'd like that a little more solid. All right, cool. Doesn't look half bad. Same thing with the negative wire. Alright, that one's good and tight too. Alright, so for the last part, basically, when you want to etch, you're going to have your knife, tool, or whatever metal, and one is going to clamp on to the metal, and then the other you're going to have something you can kind of use as a pen that holds your electrolyte solution, and that's going to burn away at the metal through your stencil. I'm just going to use a bolt. What I did to the bolt, I ground off the face in case there's any coating. A little bit on the hex pattern right here. Or is that an octagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, hex. Alright. And then on the back end, I ground away a little bit there, just so my alligator clip would have an easier time grabbing onto it. Now there are probably better ways to clip this here. I mean, that might even work well. With that angle I ground in, it's not spinning at all. It's got a really firm contact. And then for the felt, I've been using the felt right here for now. Let's cut off a little section. Milwaukee scissors don't cut felt that well. I'll be back in a second once I get that cut out. Alright, so I have my felt cut out. I'm going to double it up, put it onto the head of that bolt, kind of work it down till it gets to the collar. Like that. And then secure it with the rubber band. Alright, so there's my stencil, P. Bates, Michigan, mounted on a knife. I have that clip connected to the tang of the knife. And then here's our felt connected to that screw. So let's get some electrolyte onto the felt. Alright, I think that's good enough. Let's plug in the main unit. Alright, so that's plugged in. Let's turn it on and change the voltage from 0 to 25. Right about there. And let's see if this thing works. It's a little too saturated. Let's try that. Alright, let's lift that stencil, see how it's coming along. It's a little bit dark, but it should clear out a bit. Alright, so I'm going to get some acetone on a Q-tip and kind of clean out what's etched so far so it'll get a little deeper. Okay, so I cleaned out the metal where it was being etched, and I cleaned out the top of the stencil, so let's get it a little bit deeper. Alright, let's take a look. Oh yeah, that's good and deep. Let's clean it out. Make sure it's actually as deep as I think it is. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. Alright, I'm going to get it cleaned off with some of the electrolyte solution, take care of my stencil, then I'll give you a view of the final etching. So here's the final product. It's a nice deep etch, P-Bates, Michigan. It's not really focusing well on it, but it is nice and clear. It does still have some black stuff left in there that I can clean out, but yeah. This thing worked. It didn't kill me. It's not that expensive, and now you know how to make it. I'll link all of the parts and information resources into the video, either in the description or in cards throughout the video as those things pop up. Anyway, thanks for watching.